Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel and happy Halloween. If you can't tell, actually, this is only the Thursday before Halloween. I usually dress up every single night up to Halloween, and this is my least crazy costume. What do you think it is? I decided to do all the Post Malone some face tattoos. I call this costume, you guys know, if you've been a long time subscriber, I used to have a clothing line. If I was Post Malone's stylist, how I can make him look cool with these face tattoos and everything. I even got the neck tattoo he's got. Here's the pants. Anyway, lots of fun times, lots of fun pictures. I was a little negligent on the video footage tonight, but my friends Pepe and Dave Husto, who've both had videos on my channel featuring their homes, they came in town tonight. My friend Doug, who you've seen many times on the channel, he's coming in tomorrow. We went to my friend Steve's house tonight, the one with the MVL Extremes, the Smithsonian level stuff he has at his house, and the guitar collection. They were actually playing music tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of footage of that, but in any case, good times, lots of stuff coming for this weekend for Spooktacular. If you are in Houston, it's going to be Saturday night, so be sure to stop by. But the point of this video was to talk about, and I'll go ahead and take this off, don't need to. Basically talk about part 2 of my series of mistakes that audiophiles make. And I want to keep this as a continuing series and pretty much just dedicate each video to one mistake that I see people make and go into it in a little more detail versus just try to pile 10 mistakes into one and do it in a very primitive manner. And really this topic today is going to parlay on the prior one, if you haven't watched it, where I talked about one of the biggest mistakes people make is not getting to know the people behind the brand, getting that trust factor, getting that comfort level that can make all the difference in the world, not only with the gear you're buying at that time, but in the future, a reference to go to, somebody when you have reliability problems. I brought up an example where choosing the wrong brand can really be catastrophic. It just demoralizes you. In fact, with my friend Doug, he was just so sick once he got screwed over by this one brand. It just makes your whole experience change your outlook on the entire hobby. So again, that's in part 1, but part 2 kind of parlays on that, because what I wanted to say, another thing that we overlook is trusting reviewers. And I have a video in the membership section on which reviewers you can trust. And, basically what I want to say in this part of the video and what the mistake most people make is, first of all, trusting reviewers, period. And it includes me, because each person, number one, has different ears. Move your ears like this, you'll hear differently. And each of us has different shaped ears. Each of us have different tastes. And I know for me, and I think it's pretty universal with audiophiles, your tastes get more sophisticated as you go. I mean, I know what I thought was good back at this stage of my audiophile journey is nowhere near what I think is good at this stage of my audiophile journey. And I'm still learning. So people aren't always at that same level. So if you're listening to somebody at this level with an ear shaped like this, and you're taking their advice when you're here, it makes no sense. The gear you buy may not translate as well. And that's why you constantly see reviewers even doing the same gear that have equal experience. Sometimes they don't even review the gear with the same exact results, and the same room. And we've seen this before. I've even mentioned this on the channel. A lot of these reviewers, even with a lot of experience, may not have that sophisticated taste, or they may have lost hearing, or they may have issues in their rooms, ground loops, all kinds of things. But I didn't want to make this all negative in terms of never trusting any reviewers. The key thing is when you find one where you read a review and it matches your experience with that piece of gear. So that's what you kind of want to look for, is look for pieces of gear that you are familiar with, and then ones that reviewers that have reviewed it, and see if you hear ear to ear, if you describe the same things they're hearing. That's a good litmus test, at least for that point in time where you are on your journey to trust that person. I can tell you what I wanted to really give a shout out to was a great reviewer that I just learned about in my membership section. We have a WhatsApp group, and somebody brought to attention a Dutch and Dutch speaker review, which is a great speaker, super well designed, the future of speaker design in general, I think. But what I was more impressed with than even the speaker itself that was being reviewed was the quality of the review on Audiophile Style. Now, that's a website that I used to go to a lot, maybe in the 2012 to 16 area. Back when they were doing USB reclockers and servers. I build my own servers now. I don't really deal with that. But that forum got a little bit too neurotic about every little brand of USB reclocker. I put 6 of them in a row and all kinds of craziness. And then they did get a little bit shill forum with the manufacturers constantly dominating it. And then the Chris Conacher guy that I think runs it got really obsessed with MQA, and actually I applaud him bringing a lot of that to the attention. But it's just a site that I've been fairly indifferent to in recent years. But this review I read on Audiophile Style about the Dutch and Dutch speaker, man, that guy really knows his stuff. And when I was reading it, I was like, man, this is the type of reviews I would do if I did that in print and try to reach that level. He's a recording engineer and has a lot of qualifications I don't even have. But when I heard what he was talking about, it like, oh, it's just like preaching to the choir, like things that I've been just thirsty to hear people talk about: EQ curves, how most speakers sound bright and why and where, and things about DSP. I mean, it was just a brilliant review and showed a qualitative level of understanding that, at least for me at my level, is something that I was extremely impressed with. So I'll put a link for those that you want to check it out, see if it resonates with you. With that piece of gear or any gear that that person may have reviewed in the future or in the past, I'm sorry. But in the future, that's something you want to kind of look for, is where you are on your journey. Maybe find somebody. You don't have to find somebody at this advanced stage. If you're hearing and your budget is here, find the people that are good in that area that you hear commensurate with. That will save you a lot of time. But don't make the mistake of always being siloed into one reviewer or even trusting 100% a reviewer. Try to do these shows. Try to get a dealership that you could trust and get loaner gear. And then, a pool of people. Like in our WhatsApp group, we have people that constantly ask questions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Can I get some advice on my room? And we put pictures up. Get that circle of trust of people that have your back and aren't doing anything for motivation purposes other than to help you out, and they have the experience that is worthwhile listening to. So hopefully this is a good little tip. Again, this is just part 2 of the mistakes audiophiles make. Quite a few more to come. But got to get to bed, got to get ready for this big weekend. Hope to see many of you at Spectacular Audio Fest, and Capital Audio Fest is coming too soon, and I'll be there. So sign up, subscribe, guys, if you haven't already, and I'll see you back here soon.